Okay, so we have clearly seen how to use this listeners. Now, so when test is failed, we are reaching here, that's fine. But how to know for which test case we are failing? Okay, so that particular failed test is reaching this point, but we should also know for which test case we were actually reaching this block. If you want to know that all the details of that test case when it got failed will get captured in this result object. And if you want to print name of the test case which actually got failed, then simply result dot and you will have something like get name. Okay, so get name of that particular test. So in this way you can actually track that particular test case name which is failing. Okay, so you can do that with the help of result object which you have there. So I'll run my test again and you see now it failed, but I failed executed listener's passcode and the test method name is demo. Yeah, you see it here. Demo is the test which got failed. So I can even print the test case or that particular method name which getting failed. Okay, you can do that with the help of using result object. And this is also one kind of interview question. You might be asked like, when you catch listeners, how do you know the test case name? You can simply answer that. We can have a class called iTestResult, and this class actually describes the result of a test. Okay, with iTestResult class. And the listener we are implementing here is iTestListener. And with that, when you say result dot, you will have a lot of methods. From that, get name actually prints your test case name. Okay, so when you are working in real code, we will use this on test failure to capture the screenshot of our Selenium WebDriver code. Okay, so if you are watching my Selenium tutorial, you will see that even Selenium or Appium. So whereas in REST API, we will be dealing in some other way. Okay, we are not going to use this on test failure annotation in our REST API automation. I have taught one more topic to deal this, which you will see when you are injecting real code into your framework in coming sections. Good. So that's about listeners. Now, next topic. Let me go back to Word document and running tests parallelly with TestNG. So when you go back to your XML file, so when you trigger your test, first personal loan folder is getting triggered. Thereafter car loan is getting triggered in a sequence. Okay, but if you want to trigger all the test cases parallelly at a time, you can do even that. Okay, but that is not suggestible in real time. If you have 100 test cases, will you want to run all 100 test cases together at an instant in your system? That will definitely lead to a performance issue, right? So when 100 test cases are invoking a browser, if it is a web, that will get down the slowness of your performance. Okay, so you cannot just hit everything in your browser. Your system performance will go down, even with REST APIs as well. Okay, so when you are trying to hit server with multiple endpoints, and that could give the results little low. Okay, all this can be actually taken care while performance testing, but a functional testing you should not mess up by running things parallelly. But still, there could be a scenario where you want to test it parallelly with a quick time. So if you have that scenario, there is a feature in TestNG XML file to trigger all these tests together. Okay, so for that there is one attribute which you need to add it here. So come here on suite level. So if you want to run this test folder and this test folder together, you can simply put parallel equals to test. So that means run tests parallelly. Next, so at a time, how many tests you want to run parallelly? Even that information you need to provide. If you feel that if you want to run 2 tests parallelly at a time, okay, there could be 100, but at the same time you have to tell how many should trigger at a time. Okay, so for that thread count is the attribute. You have, for example, if you want to run two tests together, then you can pass thread count equals to 2. Simple, that's all. Or if you want to run all 10 tests together, then give thread count equals to 10. Okay, save it, that's all. So give this information on suite level and you can trigger your TestNG XML file, and all the results whatever you saw in a sequential now will run parallelly, but that doesn't make much difference in your output visible mode. Okay, so still you will get the same results, but this time results are very quick compared to sequential run. So now this test ran actually parallelly. Now put a thread count equals to 10. Let's see, or put thread count 6, something like this. So the real difference you will see when you are invoking real automation code, and the test execution time could be in difference in milliseconds when you run from serial and parallel. So right now we have no real code, so that's why it was very quick. But if you have a code something like, hey, open that, log in and do some transaction, and first login test case will run and then after the transaction will open. And when you put parallel equals to test and thread count equals to 2, in one browser login will open, similarly in another browser transaction will open. Everything will run parallelly, even mobile, even in mobile. But I feel that when you are working with Appium and when you want to run tests parallelly, you have to have multiple emulators. Okay, so you need to work with multiple real devices should be connected to your system. So that's the reason for parallel run people generally prefer grid. Okay, they just don't do that parallel thing with TestNG. Even I don't suggest this thing, but for knowledge purpose I am giving you that. So if you want to check, you can use this information. But for mobile testing Appium, this statement will not make much sense because you need to have real devices, right? If it is web, browsers can open quickly 3 or 4, but in mobile you should have multiple devices connected to your machine to actually trigger. So for API level, that's fine. Again, you can try it out. Okay, so that's how. And one more thing. So now you are running parallel tests. So this test and this test will execute parallelly. And once you go inside test, if you want to run this classes also parallelly, then you can use parallel equal to classes. We can just put this parallel equals to classes and give the thread count. Same thing, thread count. Okay, even classes will run parallelly. Because here you cannot put tests, because inside test folder there will be classes. That's why you are saying parallel equal to classes. Whereas in suite level you have tests. That's why you are saying parallel equal to tests. Okay, so right now I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that's pretty much about running the test parallelly. And yeah, so right now you might not see much difference because we are just printing the statements. If you have real code working with you, just try it out by putting these lines and see how things are running parallelly. Okay, so let me go back to my Word document. Yes, we have seen TestNG, include, exclude, annotation, groups, data provider, annotation helper, parameterization, running test parallel, and also TestNG listeners. So we have covered each and every topic which we require to develop a robust framework with the help of TestNG. Now, if you are interested to see the results after you run your test cases, okay, so refresh your project and there is a test output folder here. Once you refresh the project, you will get it. Open the test output folder and there is an index.html file here. Okay, right click, properties, take the entire path of that HTML, go back to your browser and paste that URL. You will see the results for all your test case execution. Yeah, results look little bit dull, but I have explained you good reporting in coming lectures. So this is how TestNG report looks like. So two test cases, personal loan and car loan, and you see that 10 methods, 9 got passed and 1 got failed, and this is failed method demo. And if you want to see the output why demo got failed, you can click here and you can see clearly that expected true but found false, the error thing. And past methods, if you want to see, click on show and you will see all these are past methods. Okay, and you see that for day 3 this application ran with 3 different set of users, first set, second set, third set. That information also you have it here. Okay, so generally when you want to send the reports to client, you could send this tab results. You have to take a screenshot of this. This will actually say how many pass and how many fail, and you have to send these details clearly like pass, fail. This one tab is enough. You can take a screenshot of it and you can send through mail like what is your framework results execution. Okay, so if you are looking like some hi-fi reports like pie charts and all, I have taught that as well in my coming lectures with the help of extent reports. You will see that, but these are like TestNG reports. And yeah, to keep it simple, you can start with these reports. This also makes little sense, right? Not little, it makes complete, because you have a results, you have a number of test cases, number of tests passed, failed, and you have clear green ticks with a fail tick, and the log information also you have. So you will get that once you run the test. In the test output folder, you will see it in index.html. Alright, so that's pretty much about TestNG. I hope you had very clear understanding on this TestNG component, which is like main component in building your robust automation framework. Okay, in the next section, let's again freshly come up with a new project and go with one more component in our framework. Okay, so what all you learned from this, you can download entire code from my next lecture. So again, from next section you won't see this code. We will again start with a fresh component. I don't want to mix everything together. All this mixing, integration and connecting the dots, we will do at the end when we are injecting the real code. Alright, so that's all for TestNG, and see you in the next section with one more component. Thank you guys. Bye.